was brand to go. That chick was brand to go. Man, she did a dip, almost broke my hip. She was getting down. That chick was getting down. She wanted to bump some more, but I told her no. You don't knock me down once. You done knocked me down once. Said if you wanna dance, find you a big fat man. Y'all go and get on down. Y'all go and get on down. I ain't gonna bump no more with no big fat woman. I ain't gonna bump no more with no big fat woman. I ain't gonna bump no more with no big fat woman. I ain't gonna bump no more with no big fat woman. I ain't gonna bump no more with no big fat woman. I ain't gonna bump no more with no big fat woman. No, I ain't gonna bump no more with no big fat woman. I ain't gonna bump no more with no big fat woman. Big for me, she done knocked me down. She came over to me, snatched me out of my seat. She wanted to get on down, still wanna get on down. I told her to go on and leave me alone. I ain't getting down. You done hit my hip once. I know what you'll do. I ain't gonna bump with you. I don't feel like getting down. Don't feel like getting down. She just shook her head at every word I said. She wanted to get on down. That woman wanted to get on down. She did that dip again, and I hit the floor again.
Hello, Fixed Tank viewers. This is Vince with Vincent's Mixed Reef. This is not a mixed reef tank. This is a cichlid tank. I have a 150-gallon mixed reef tank, and it's in my basement. So I wanted something to go upstairs that didn't have as much weight to it and much water, but it could remind me of my tank downstairs. So when I feed this tank, I can also remember to feed my tank downstairs, which gets kind of tedious because I have 3 floors in my home. So there's a lot of up and down. But I'm making this video because I need not only fish identification, but I need to get some type of information from the YouTube viewers and the cichlid community on what fish I have, the best way to keep these fish, what you recommend, what you don't recommend. I'll tell you my tank and all of its aspects, like the filter and so on and so forth. And you guys can share with me what it is you think or how you think I can improve my situation. So starting off, I do this is a 60-gallon just basic tank, rectangle tank, on a little probably 28-32 inch stand. I have 2 different filters. I have a Marineland 330 hang on the back filter, and I also have a Marineland Magnum 350, which is there in the corner. This Magnum 350 is supposed to filter a tank up to 100 gallons. From what I've heard, that when you're dealing with cichlids, you want overfiltration because the fish are they produce a lot of waste. So I don't know if that statement to be true or not. I have noticed that they do tend to get the tank dirty, and 2 to 3 times a day there's just a lot of fish waste floating around the water, usually about 30-40 minutes after I feed them. My other question is, how often do you feed them? I do not want to overfeed, but I also don't want to underfeed. I started out with a 29-gallon BioCube. That was my saltwater quarantine tank, and I actually decided not to put any more new fish in my tank. I was just going to let my tank mature and prosper with what I had in it. So I didn't want to waste my 29-gallon BioCube, so I brought it upstairs, I set it up and started looking around. I thought about making it a planted aquarium, but it's like that's a lot of work and I don't want to have to dose carbon. So I started reading some information on African cichlids. And I said, you know what, I'll get 2 or 3 of those guys, throw in a couple rocks, and I should be good to go. And that's what I did. The water here in our region is very hard. It is actually straight out of the sink. The parameters of the water are literally, excluding the chlorine, perfect for cichlids. It's very hard water here, and I really didn't have to treat the water much. I do add some cichlid salt, but I add a dechlorinator, and that's pretty much it. And you see the fish here. Everybody's happy. I don't know about coloration. I don't know what color these guys are supposed to be. So maybe you guys can help me out with that and tell me if I should add more salt or do something different. But these fish are fairly still young. The biggest one is probably 2.5 inches. The majority are about 2 inches to 1.5 inches. There is a mix. I know there is a hap. I know there's peacocks, and I know there's mbuna. And I've seen video, and I've read a couple of books. I tend to do that on researching. Researching is not just watching videos on YouTube. But within the books, you know, everything suggests it is a possibility to keep all these guys together if you start young, if you start small, which is exactly what I'm doing. There's currently about 18 fish in the tank, 19 including a little pleco. And I don't think I'm gonna go any higher than that. I know usually rule of thumb for freshwater fish, there's most people say, you know, for every 1 gallon of tank you have 1 inch of fish. I tend to go a little bit above that and say for every one fish that is 2 to 3 inches, you should consider it maybe 2 gallons. I don't know how large these fish get. I think some of the venustas I've seen, they say they can get up to 11 inches. I don't intend having them to that size. Once they get to a certain size, then I'm gonna rehome them. I do not like large fish, extremely large fish. 6 to 7 inches is fine. Anything above that, then I'll rehome them. There are a lot of cichlid people in the area, so people will be happy to get a free fish. So, but ultimately, I just want some feedback. Tell me what you guys think. I know that there are grazers from what I've read. I know that the content in Lake Malawi and Lake Tanganyika and Lake Victoria, the salt content is different. So the pH is a little different, but my one Victorian fish, he's doing pretty good in here. I noticed that his coloring isn't what it was in the store. And I've noticed that because of, I guess there's a fish hierarchy with African cichlids from the top dominant to the lowest in the tank. And according to where they are on that scale, you know, their colors will also reflect that, with the most dominant person being the most colorful and most brightly colored, and then the least in the crew will be a little faded. I don't know how true that is. Maybe somebody can reply and refer and tell me or educate me on that particular matter. But I do know that these fish are grazers. So I'm running a setup to where you see I'm populating a lot of green algae onto the rocks. And I've noticed that all of the fish, from the one that I know is a peacock, the one that I know is a hap, and the couple that I know in Mbuna, they're all grazing on the rocks. You can see here in the video that several fish are grazing as I'm talking. And I know most people recommend that you don't put wood in the tanks because it'll lower the pH. I'm using some aquarium or saltwater aquarium sand. to higher the pH. I've heard people say possibly putting a piece of dead coral. But with me doing a 50% water change every 2 weeks, should I do a 25% water change every week? Or should I just continue to do a 50% water change every 2 weeks? Just husbandry issues if somebody can address it and maybe point those out, I greatly appreciate it. I did not intend for this video to be long or say this many times, but I just really want to be more informed and well informed. I think educating yourself is more than just reading books. Experience is a big role in educating. So I just want more experienced users, more people who've done this longer and had long-term success to kind of give me an idea as to what it takes and make sure that I'm headed down the right path. That's pretty much it. You know, that's the gist of everything. So if you guys can share, comment, you know, I'm not going to tell you to subscribe because I'm not going to make a lot of cichlid videos. I'm just actually doing this for information. My channel is mostly based off my reefing experience. So yeah, if you guys can just do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it, and just help me make sure that I create the right habitat for these guys and make sure that they're happy and we can have a successful tank for a long time. So thanks guys. Hit me with any comment, questions, or anything I'd appreciate. I don't mind it being negative as long as it's a negative with a positive note. So again, thanks guys for all your help. I really appreciate it, and whatever you can offer, I'd be more than grateful. Thanks.